Recently, I had an epiphany. I cover many games where I have a script, I have footage, but it's not long enough to...
Let's go back. She have a gag ball. I'm not even going to question this one. How's it going, folks? Jack here with another video, here to check out some more from Sseth, who, to put it mildly, just plays every single game. Yes, this man decided once again to put his hand in the nostalgia basket and pull out something that I had completely forgotten about. My god, fantastic Daisy. I don't know how he's gonna make a full review of one of the ROM games of all times, but sure, I'm in here for it. Like, a little thing, I might have stated this before, but I'm just gonna reiterate it. But in this era where we are, calling it an era might be a little bit overdoing it. At this moment where we are very much fighting against the crazy corporatization of a lot of games and acknowledging just how much fun we can get from the basic one, the old games, or just, of course, the good new releases that we're seeing today, I am putting even more appreciation on having grown in an environment where I didn't have access to the top shelf stuff. Okay, what the hell do I mean by that? Now, I did not grow up poor, but I grew up in Africa for half of my, well, not anymore, at least 1/3 of my lifespan now. And from there, because we did not have access to the latest releases of games, we had to settle with the likes of what I guess some could say A or AA type games, if you could qualify that by the metric that we use today. So I got to play everything that was kind of mid. So like when people got to experience like Metroid, Super Metroid, or A Link to the Past, A Legend of Zelda, yeah, that would have come out around that time as well. When people got to play that, I got to play this on a freaking SNK Neo Geo that was in my local store, where apparently the dude managed to have every single fucking game. He was swindling us all for my lunch money. But I got to enjoy things like this, and even when I finally moved to the West, I got to play games that I bought myself because my parents didn't want to buy me games. So I get like blasted with a wave of nostalgia when I see things like this. But enough with my character arc, let us get into the review.
Hey,
starting
people,
with
Sseth here.
eggs.
To address some allegations, I'd like to ask a simple question. Are you really upset because I was on the flight logs? Or are you upset because you were never invited? Fantastic Dizzy is a game which, unlike the highly optimized projects of today, is less than 800 kilobytes and fits on a floppy with room to spare. It's a DOS game, so we play it on DOSBox.
Listen. This guy hit us. Why are we calling this freaking Sloppenheimer move? Oh my god. So the Stephen Hawking thing is kinda hilarious. Obviously very disturbing, but still hilarious to my opinion, because can you imagine that dude swerving around getting chicks? Now, we don't need to get into the detail of what type of chicks we're talking about here, but my god. Yeah, there's been a lot of scientists who did a lot of wrong things. Even Albert Einstein, of all people, was not straight up misogynistic, but he did not treat his wife well at all. The man literally started a relationship with his cousin instead. Like, dude, you're not from Alabama.
It's a tale older than time. You are an egg called Dizzy, and your egg girlfriend has been kidnapped. Save her before she gets groomed by the vaguely Arabic-looking wizard. Along the way, solve puzzles by using the right item. You can only hold 3, and the only way to reshuffle them is by dropping them on the ground. It's a simple system, but it's an adventure game,
oh, the
so
spiders.
everything is an insane leap of logic. Deadly spikes, Persian rug, burning fireplace, bucket of water, which looks exactly the same as the empty bucket of water, but has to be dropped into a specific pool of water to become the bucket of water, or else it doesn't work and you have to backtrack all the way to the graveyard. Also, because you're an egg, you roll like an egg. This can filter a lot of people as you'll roll into enemies. The Yolkfolk village is infested by spiders and snails, while the city is overrun by shape-shifting Hasidics. But none of these are as bad as the butterflies, which do no damage, but stun lock you long enough that you die by something else, as evidenced by the fact that he is healed not only by eating fruit, but by the mere presence of precious stones Dizzy is a Semitic life form, and Grandpa Dizzy is probably some kind of century egg, which explains why he has to live in hiding out of fear of becoming an Asian man's delicacy. The objective of this game is to collect 250 stars that lag your screen each time they appear. This is the intended experience, as increasing your CPU cycles will make the extra life minigame impossible, as the hourglass is tied to your clock speed.
Oh my god. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. And by the way, as a little commentary on the egg situation, I was very shocked to realize that Japan was not like the top egg consuming country in the world. Like, obviously I would have imagined that the US would have been right up there because of fast food restaurants making use of them a lot. But I thought that Japan, because they are very, very much centered in egg consumption with a lot of their meals, that they would have been #1. But I think #1 is China. Yeah, with like the population consuming like 400 eggs per person a year. And if you're wondering how I know these stats, we are currently going through a vegan arc in this household, so I am kind of having to find alternative for meat. Just trying to be a good boyfriend, future husband, to see how long it lasts, you know? How long is he going to hold not having to eat meat? Okay, this is getting a little bit graphic.
These stars are non-negotiable, and you can't finish the game without them. Some are sadistically placed, and you can't get to them except by falling in a particular manner from several screens away, let alone know of their existence. At some point, the game even expects you to trick-shot yourself against butterflies to get the final stars, while platforming on a series of clouds that sink the longer you put weight on them. But that's late game. Early game is getting filtered by the minecart, which boils down to a single strategy. Guessing. You guess wrong, you get splatted. Or in my case, you take the wrong exit and get stuck on a beach. At the time, I didn't realize you could take the entrance back to the mine and drown in the ocean. Then I came back after the bubble riding minigame and got filtered all over again because I brought my aqua lung, but no flippers, and I couldn't swim out of the bottom cavern. Dizzy has taught me that I haven't progressed very much as an adult, and I'm struggling with an hour-long video game that's old enough to be the child bride that died giving birth to me. At least the music is nice. In general, this is a very nice game that you could show your grandma. It's not—
Oh my god!
What is that?
Oh my god. No, this is not what I expected. I was about to stop to comment on the whole thing with all video games being hard, because we're obviously hardwired for something completely different. And then this pops up, okay? Now, for all you perverts out there that are going to question, hey Jack, you know about this? It's your fault. It's your bloody fault. During the Evenical reaction video, many of you were like asking regarding, I told you a story about the person who actually introduced this to me, who was my ex-girlfriend. And yeah, some of you reached out on my bloody Discord. Now, usually Discord is nice, right? Some will hit you with good messages and some are kind of edgy because of like single comments that you made and are attacking you. But fuck those guys. However, some others, a third group, would like give me games, and some send me links to this thing here, Nymphomaniac Priestess. I was like, what the fuck is this? I clicked on it and I just kept on watching, image after image. And I saw the tags, to which I was like, replying to the person, like, who the fuck do you think I'm into NTR? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm sorry, I was not ready for that.
Not some NTR RPG Maker slop that would surely break her pacemaker. In the end, you fight the wizard.
Jesus.
He's not very good at magic, but he has a mirror, which is good at reflecting magic. He's turned to stone and dies, presumably as an involuntary celibate. Your reward is a kiss from your fair maiden, which I think is reward enough. Recently, I had an epiphany. I cover many games where I have a script, I have footage, but it's not long enough to—
Let's go back. She have a gag ball. I'm not even going to question this one.
Script. I have footage, but it's not long enough to justify a full video. Then I realized the title of a video doesn't have to be accurate. So I have no lack of content, which is important when I'm committed to giving sponsors the lowest quality for the highest rate of return.
This is a shout out to, a call out, I guess one could say, to either Charlie or pyrocynical. Those two especially are very criminal when it comes to those. I think the Moist has improved a little bit, but Pyro definitely. Oh my god, like every single title is about this situation is insane, this is wild, and then you start listening to the stuff that he's saying, it's like, wait, this has absolutely nothing to do with the actual problem.
There are three things I value in this life: my mother, my data, and your mother. You know who else loves these things? Data brokers. Remember, everything you do online can be traced directly to your IP address via your service provider. But they wouldn't sell your personal information to governments and private companies just for a quick buck, would they? Data brokers use this information to piece together what kind of person you are and sell you ads. Just last week, I googled one C++ tutorial. I now own 6 pairs of programming socks.
I'm sorry. I know that he's been using Yakuza 7 as like a picture for his ads, but are we actually going to get a Yakuza 0 review from Sseth? Because if that's the case, I am hyped as fuck.
I don't even know how it happened. Such is the horror of a dreaded data broker. How did they know it was me? Because in one brief moment of foolish weakness, I forgot to turn on ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN masks your digital footprint and stops those pesky brokers in their tracks. And it's not just brokers you gotta look out for. Ask yourself this: who owns the Wi-Fi you use to browse all your favorite content? Is it your mom, my mom, your boss, perhaps your local public library? Well, if you and your waifu keep having these not-so-secret rendezvous on their Wi-Fi, they can still see everything, even in incognito mode. Now, your mother will disown you, your boss will garnish your wages, and the library will revoke your card. Now, your JoJo library date is cancelled. But Sseth, I hear you cry, all this computational back and forth sounds really complicated. Not to worry, my friend. ExpressVPN does all the hard work for you. Just turn it on, hit one button,
God.
And voila. All your network traffic is sent through a secure encrypted tunnel. So strong it would take a supercomputer 1 billion years to crack. Find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/Sseth or by clicking the link in the description below. Oof. What if I told you an action RPG released 2005 that's over 19 years old had fully working multiplayer until
yeah, okay. He did reach far, very deep in that basket. Dungeon Siege 2. Oh my god. Okay, this is the greatest, at least for this year, review that he has made so far. Jesus Christ.
Recently, when some corporate goon came in and ordered the unpaid intern to manually disable the multiplayer button. That's not a joke. They're just that petty. The latest copy of Dungeon Siege 2 on Steam presents you with a menu where the multiplayer is grayed out. So naturally, people reverse engineered it, and it's working perfectly. We managed to finish the whole campaign using only the most premium gaming platform. It's old, it's scuffed, and it plays adverts that can be blocked by editing your System32 host file. But guess what? It has charm.
HIV lads.
This game infects my consciousness.
I kill you first, green lady!
There's quotes from a tutorial burned into my brain.
Those must be the Bracken we learned about as children. Let's take them out. These Bracken are as weak as Calrathian ale. These creatures remind me of our
I hit you with
These wooden creatures are weak to fire. Too bad I'm not a combat mage.
Yeah. Too bad I'm not a combat mage. Yeah, I remember that quote. That was fun. Oh man, the first one was so bad because I played in single player. You could control up to 8 different characters and the AI was so fucking dumb. But now you can do it with half the size, and I think that 2 state that you can put them to do, like near or chaotic, where they can just go rampant, but like it was fun. This was a fun game. This was like, gonna say something that might offend people, but just a comparison that comes to mind. Diablo 2 at home. It was good though, it was good.
Next time we see one, use my brutal attack power on it. That'll surprise them.
The story is very simple. You and your friend Drevin enlist in PMC Wagner. Before dying, he gives you his magical plot armor amulet.
We have completed our task. When can we expect our pay? Look out!
And then he dies. The rest doesn't really matter. You don't have to pay attention. Just kill things and have a good time.
Oh my lord, I don't care. Wait,
An age ago.
Wait,
Zara
I skipped
Don't
it. Anyway, we get captured as war criminals because we attacked a UNESCO heritage site. Understandably, the Dryades don't like us, and they've put good boy compliance collars on all the prisoners. One of them makes a break for it, which isn't very smart. On the other hand, you did enlist as a mercenary for people who look like this. They say, don't judge a book by its cover. I say, physicality reflects inner state, and all the most horrible people I've ever encountered look like something that escaped the mines of Moria. The prison warden gives you a chance to prove yourself by burning down a bunch of Morden watchtowers. This is one of several situations in this game where you have to think. Don't worry, there's not many. There's also not much dialogue in this game, except for Daru. Daru never stops talking, and she will begin her monologue in the middle of a fight. For this reason, I always recommend putting Daru in your party because it's very entertaining to get wiped by a dialogue box. This game can be quite intense. I'm not kidding when I say it's about 1-2 taps and you're dead. Free if you're a tank. And even a trash mob encounter can leave your party dead.
Yep. Chain lightning.
I'm gonna be real. This ain't looking good.
So it's important to have a plan, build, or idea of what you're doing, which we did not. You level up by doing damage of a particular affinity, melee, ranged, combat, or nature magic, and you can mix and match freely. Don't like your mage? Pick up a sword. Don't like your fighter? Take a bow. There's nothing stopping you from leveling every single tree except free time and practicality, and there's no limitation on what any of your characters can be. Did my friend have to relevel Tar as a combat mage? No, but it's funny. The Broken Worlds expansion adds 2 hybrid classes, Fist of Stone and Blood Assassin. One of these sucks ass. The other one lets nature mages have more armor than the tank. If you find yourself dying, just get more armor. There is no other statistic that matters for the average player. Leveling an affinity lets you put skill points in that tree, and certain combinations unlock powers. Powers win fights. Everything else is irrelevant. It's just filler until you use powers again. You charge them up by doing damage, and you release them when you want dopamine. The first difficulty curve is taking the elevator, as you will likely split your party in half, and then one of us is going to pull the lever again, and we're going to repeat the whole process.
And
it's not your fault.
And you need to make sure that they don't follow you. If any of you who have played Baldur's Gate 3 remember when you first encountered the secret grove, I literally had flashbacks to this.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, well, wait, don't worry.
Okay, get off. Yeah, get off the fucking...
This game is entirely about budgeting, because the main thing you spend money on is potions, and you must make an informed decision. Do I buy the regular potion for my level that heals fast for however much money, or the weakest, shittiest potion for 15 gold? The answer is always the shittiest potion, and then you fill every single tile of your inventory with health and mana potions. Quick spoiler, melee and ranged do damage. Nature and combat do the same damage at the same rate, but they cost mana. So if you're relying on magic for damage, go back. Don't do that. Also, do not ever try to alt-tab this game. It can't handle it, and you're going to lose your save. However, I have room temperature IQ, and I'm conditioned, like a Pavlovian dog, that each time I hear that Discord notification, I am compelled to tab out and ruin everything.
Well, at the time, we didn't do that, though. We had to play the full session and saved before logging out. Oh man, those were the times you got fully immersed with our discourse or even freaking ventrilo screaming at you.
Proceeding with a story, you get told that you have the plague, and you should probably seek treatment from an elvish shrine. This does nothing, because the plague is actually caused by shard souls, which are the spirits of aborted NBA players, haunting the Planned Parenthood. No one can see them except for your party, and you're already immune because of Draven's amulet. With nothing left to do, we take the road home. Along the way, we meet an old man who is definitely not the game's antagonist.
Indeed.
He tells us we need to stop Doomsday by reforging,
literally giving it to the evil guys,
Doomsday, and bringing it directly to the enemy leader. This is why we don't pay attention to the plot, the lore, or any kind of writing in this game. This is hack and slash. This is ADHD in its purest form, since we gave up being hunter-gatherers. Anyway.
Jesus Christ, was that Dark Zuckerberg? Wow. Frightening.
We purify a fortress and force all the shard souls out of their host bodies. Finding nothing else, they all dash into a snake, and we get our first boss fight, which is enjoyable because it's all downhill from here. I'm gonna skip around a bunch because, honestly, this game is defined by its boss fights. Everything in between is relatively straightforward and not worth mentioning. The next boss fight is a Dark Wizard. These are mortal men that have forsaken humanity by adding extra jaws to the side of their face. Originally, I was going to joke about this, but as I wrote the words Sloppenheimer in my script document, I felt deeply disgusted with myself and took a cold shower.
I literally said the word before. I guess I'm gonna head to the showers after this. I pay to enter your septic tank for an hour at a time. Oh my god, Jacksonville. Wait, do they have a similar issue like Ohio has with like water contamination? If the literal caca consumer is in there?
It took us over an hour to kill him. This is easily the place where most people get filtered, because every one of his attacks will one-shot you, and one of them doesn't even have a projectile. It's just hit scan, and you're dead. You have to break down each part of his shield barrier to actually damage him, and then he can just recast it. And once you get him down to 1/3 of his health, he starts summoning his crystal. This is a DPS check that you have to save all your powers for and focus the moment it goes up, because
playing this game was literally like running a raid with your guild in World of Warcraft. Like, you had to pass the vibe check to make sure that you could actually do enough damage to get things done, or else you would be spending hours doing that.
If you don't, it kills everyone on the map, regardless of distance. And after destroying it, you have approximately 5 seconds before he summons another. Next up is a dragon. You have to shoot with a ballista while avoiding hordes of infinitely spawning crabs. If he goes in the air, he rains down fire that burns you, the crabs, and more importantly, the ballista. This temporarily overheats the controls. However, the fight glitched, and the ballista was now permanently disabled. Half an hour into this, I wasn't planning on reloading the game. I gambled on the idea that I could reset the object state by getting the dragon to cook the controls, and it turned out that worked exactly as planned. Except this is a 2-stage boss fight, and now we have to fight his bloodied head in a narrow hallway with no cover. Objectively, we have been filtered, and yet, with everyone lying unconscious on the floor, we killed the dragon. How?
I don't want to know what that image was. I don't want to know.
Because for some reason, his second phase never actually kills you. And my nature mage, who was knocked out on the floor getting cooked by fireballs, was wearing a single piece of clothing with damage reflect that chunked the dragon's health for each tick of damage. Essentially, he died to a pair of slippers. What can I even say? We almost lost the first phase to a glitch, and we won the second with an exploit. A pleasant surprise, but usually it gets better before it gets worse. And
yeah, until you have to fight 3 more of those mages.
We're no longer heading downhill because we've reached the bottom. Misery has 2 definitions: borderline personality and fighting free Dark Wizards at the same time.
Oh.
This is pain.
This is gonna be rough. Okay, never mind, it's over.
I don't know if I can describe the incomprehensible pain of childbirth in a retarded position where you...
What is this dude? What does it do to MatPat?
If I can describe the incomprehensible pain of...
I mean, this is low accurate. Ain't no way if you are so obsessed with a certain game that you don't end up bearing his child.
Childbirth in a retarded position where you're fighting gravity. But I'll try describing something much worse. Imagine giving a boss the ability to cast a delayed explosion at your character's feet. Now make it spammable and make it affect everyone on screen. And if your characters are already dead, target them anyway. The problem of this fight isn't the free bosses spamming insta-kill area of effect attacks. The problem is that the animation to get up from being dead is longer than the animation that kills you. So that if you die in this fight, I cannot revive you, because the second I do, you get one shot. If not by the explosion, then by the billion insta-kill projectile beams that can clip an entire party. This fight didn't just break us, it broke the whole game. It went on for so long that eventually the game started to randomly pause and desynchronize. Spells and AoE attacks stopped rendering, and eventually everything just grinded to a halt and crashed. So we rage quit the game for a week, and then we got them on a second try in only half the time. I'm convinced most of my subconscious psyche was dedicated to training for the rematch, because I came back with reflex and strategy that I didn't know I had.
That's the beauty of it.
If you can take out just one of them, the entire fight becomes much more tolerable. The last fight of the game is pretty okay. I don't expect you to have any trouble. You have to kill Valdis, who is normally invincible. However, this fight takes place in Baoshan's steel limited, and the lack of workplace safety can work to your advantage.
Osha!
Thank God. I was gonna kill myself if I rage quit.
Then we tried the Broken World expansion.
I know all this.
Never played it.
I'm not some child who...
Concentrate.
What the fuck
You
is
must
this?
focus if you want to learn.
Dude, this sucks.
And spoiler, it's complete dog shit. Turns out there's
Okay.
a good reason it's not sold anywhere online. Skip that shit. There's nothing good about it. In summary,
Good.
I thoroughly recommend Dungeon Siege 2. It will test your friendship, and it will either wither away into ash because you are not pure of heart, or cement and grow stronger. Because one day, you will play a competitive MOBA together, and if you're not prepared for that, you're going to be calling each
Slurs.
other ethnic slurs for the last time. Because
Yeah.
your e-friendship is over. You can play with up to 4 players. It's incredibly fun. I'll try and include instructions on how to patch the game in the description below, but in case this is not accurate, skill issue. Figure it out. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I've been reading a lot of comments saying, lol, Sseth isn't uploading. He's busy digging tunnels under the synagogue. These jokes hurt my
Oh, come on. Come on, guys.
feelings and caused me to self-harm. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Man, this was really fun. I guess this is what we get when Sseth taps into the second channel and does a lot more streaming. But that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Of course, please do make sure to go and subscribe to Sseth and also his second channel. He live streams as well. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see some more. I wish you all to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.